boys and girls. Today I'm going to read a story to you called Shark Lady. It is the true story of how Eugenie Clark became the ocean's most fearless scientist. And fearless means without fear. So I think you'd have to be pretty fearless to do what she's doing right here and swim around underwater with the sharks. I think that's pretty cool. Now we know on the back of the book, there's usually a little blurb that tells us what the book is about. So here we go. Eugenie wished everyone could see sharks through her eyes. To others, sharks were ugly and scary, but Eugenie knew they were beautiful. So Eugenie dove. And in this picture, she's a little girl, but on the cover, she is a grown-up. She's an adult. So I'm predicting that this book is going to tell the story of her life and how she learned how to be a fearless scientist who studied sharks from the time she was a little girl till the time she's grown up. Let's read and see. It was Saturday, and Eugenie wanted to stay at the aquarium forever. She wanted to smell the damp, salty air and stare at the glittery rainbow of fish. She wanted to keep watching her favorite animals, the sharks. Eugenie pretended she was walking on the bottom of the sea. What would it be like to swim with her sharks? To breathe underwater with gills of her own? More than anything else, she wanted to find out. And here are the gills on a shark. We breathe in here with our lungs, but fish and sharks breathe through their gills right here. When the summer came, Eugenie's mother took her to swim at the beach in Atlantic City. Stuffing sticky gum into her ears to keep the water out, Eugenie dove. Down, down, down. The salt stung her eyes, but she didn't want to miss a single fish. Constellations of sea stars speckled the pebbled sand. She imagined a silvery fin standing strong on her back, slicing through the ocean current. That makes me wonder if any of you have ever pretended like you were a shark or a fish when you were swimming in the water. To others, sharks were ugly and scary, but Eugenie knew they were beautiful. As she glided through the cool water, she wished everyone could see sharks through her eyes. But the sharks were only in her mind for now. Eugenie decided to learn everything she could about them. So she dove. She's actually exploring the shark's habitat. That's pretty cool. It's a good way to learn. This time, she dove into books. Whale sharks, nurse sharks, tiger sharks, lemon sharks. Eugenie wanted to know about them all. She also joined the Queens County Aquarium Society as its youngest member. Eugenie's notebooks filled with sharks. They swam in her daydreams and on the margins of her pages. The margins are like the sides. So she's like drawing sharks a lot, doodling them. At home, Eugenie's mother surprised her with an aquarium of her own. A 15-gallon tank was much too small for sharks, but Eugenie saved her allowance to buy guppies, here, clownfish, Nemo, and coral red snails. It felt as big as an ocean in her room. Their small apartment became an aquarium, a laboratory, a sanctuary. A sanctuary is like a safe place. As she grew older, many were still telling Eugenie what to do. Forget those sharks. Be a secretary. Be a housewife. Eugenie wanted to study zoology, but some of her professors thought women weren't smart enough to be scientists or brave enough to explore the oceans, and they said sharks were mindless monsters. But Eugenie knew better. Her dream was as big as a whale shark. So again, Eugenie dove. She plunged into every course she could find. Her laboratory became her home. From sunrise to sunset, she studied how fish grow, how they behave, and how they were put together, both inside and out. See, she's looking inside of a fish. Despite all of the people who didn't believe in her, Eugenie was becoming one of the smartest students in her field. Even after she earned her degree, many still doubted her. But she's not letting them stop her. She's being persistent. Remember that word? Where you don't give up no matter what. But Eugenie's work was just beginning. Eager to make discoveries of her own, Eugenie finally dove into the open ocean. In the Red Sea, Eugenie collected hundreds of fish, including 3 new species that had never been discovered before. The Red Sea sand diver, the Bardzenia pipefish, and the volcano tripplefin. It's kind of a cool name, volcano tripplefin. On a research mission exploring the Palin Islands, Eugenie was diving alone when she encountered her first ever wild shark. She wasn't afraid. Instead, she thought it was beautiful. Would you be afraid? I'd be a little afraid. She dispelled the myth that sharks must keep moving to stay alive when she swam through dark caves, still and silent, full of resting sharks. Eugenie's daring heart grew bolder with each dive. Soon, they began to call her Shark Lady. Eugenie had proven she was smart enough to be a scientist and brave enough to explore the oceans. As her courage grew, she began to love and understand her beloved sharks more and more. But she never forgot many still believed that sharks were mindless killers. Because of their scary reputation, humans were hunting sharks all over the world. Eugenie knew that sharks weren't stupid or mean. She was determined to prove everyone wrong. So they were hunting them for their jaws and making shark fin soup. Eugenie fished through her mind and devised a brilliant experiment. Could she train a shark the way a person trains a dog? That's a good question. That's a wondering. She's wondering if she can prove how smart sharks are. And she's going to find a way to prove it. I like that. Were sharks much smarter than anyone knew? And they were. Eugenie was the first scientist in the world to train sharks and even learned they could remember their training for at least 2 months after. I think here she's training them that if they go over and ring a bell, they get a fish. So they're learning that the bell means fish. Sharks were not mindless killers. Sharks were beautiful. Sharks were smart. They deserved to be studied, protected, and loved. And Eugenie's dream was now a dream come true. And here are some things called shark bites. I will hold that up. If you want to pause the video and maybe zoom in a little bit and have someone look at that or read that to you, you can. Just some little tips about sharks. And you can always go places like Epic or Pebble Go or anywhere on the internet to learn even more about sharks, just like Eugenie did. And here's a Eugenie Clark timeline of her life. So this tells, move over here, this tells about when she was born, and then it follows the years of her life, telling all the different things that she did all the way till the time the book was written. And many of these things are on the pages that we just read. But again, if you want to pause the video and have someone read the timeline with you, here it is. There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed reading about Eugenie Clark, the Shark Lady, and I hope you will do some more exploring of your own. Bye, friends. Have a great day.